I just did a birthday haul. I'm excited. Come join me. So it is my birthday week, and I am excited for some books that I've acquired recently. If you know anything about my videos, I've been really trying to be more intentional with my books, getting books that I really want to continue reading and having in my book collection. So, that said, I did go get some books that I'm interested in, that I've been looking at for a while now, and I have even a gift from an author that I adore, and I'll tell you in a minute about that. So, anyways. So the first one I got was Tiger Curse by Colleen Hook. I do believe this is an Indian inspired, so I do find that I've been really drawn to these types of books. I did get this at a used bookstore, Second and Charles, and it's like a hate-love relationship with that store, but once I find a pretty good deal, I like to snag the book. I recently got that book from the store to celebrate my birthday, and I really think I'm literally looking forward to diving into this fantasy, because I've heard a little bit about it when it first was released, and I just want to dive in fantasy I haven't thought to pick up before. So, that said. And it says it's a first volume in epic fantasy romance. I'm on a fantasy romance train, so this is definitely up my alley. Next one is, so one thing I wanted to make sure was that I don't buy books that I have, like if I haven't read the first book yet, I've been trying to avoid buying the second or third book, because I want to make sure I really like the first book and want to continue on the series. But I am Danielle L. Jensen's writing, and I decided to buy her third book in this particular series, Warrior Witch. This is the third book of the Stolen Songbird series. I haven't read the second one, but I read the first, and I thought it was such a unique take on a fantasy romance I haven't picked up before, and it's like has to do with trolls. I don't know. It's a slow burn. It's troll magic. I mean, I'm all up for that. It's usually fae these days, and dragons. Dragons the new thing. So, reading something where it has like trolls as the magical creatures, and the main love interest is a troll, I thought that was just a little more interesting to me, and it's just different. So, if you're looking for a different fantasy romance, I highly recommend reading the backlog of Danielle Jensen's series of The Stolen Songbird. Now, I would say, since this is the first series that she's written, it was a little weird starting it, but then once she got her flow, you can really tell. So I got the third book knowing that I would like the series. So I'm looking forward to picking that up. And what's crazy was I did get this from thrift books, and when I went into Second and Charles, I found it like super cheaper. That doesn't normally happen to me, but it happened. So I'm excited to pick that up for my collection, and hopefully I'll be able to finish the series. So the next one is that author that I mentioned, that he was so kind to me. I'll put the link in the description, and even above of his interview is Z.S. Diamante. You got to say it like that, Diamante. And he gifted me with his third book, and his epic fantasy is Stone and Ruin. And it is the third book of the Stone and Sky series that he's written. He is an indie fantasy author, and the best way I can describe this book is that if you like Lord of the Rings, you like adventure, and you like the multiple POVs, this is the series for you. I love how he does it, and he has such a way of writing characters, even the bad per se characters, with such emotion and feeling that you can't help but want to be root for those bad guys. But it's such an interesting dynamic of the way they created. In Lord of the Rings, you don't really get to know the orcs in here, but you do in these series. So I really like it. I'm looking forward to diving into his last book, and I'm so excited that he sent me a copy to review. And let's look at this bookmark. It has a tassel. So thank you. He doesn't realize it, but he sent it to me literally the week of my birthday. So I was like, thank you. The next one that I am really falling in love with, and I cannot stop talking about it, and I'm just waiting for the day someone says stop talking about it, but I won't. I will stand on this hill and won't move from it. But it is The Heat of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This one is the third book of her series. and it's like such a huge book. It's massive, and I am holding off because I am doing a challenge this month that you have to wait and see in the video. But I'm excited. I can't wait to read this one. I want to read it before the 4th book comes out this year. Of course, she left us in a cliffhanger, so I'm excited for this. I'm actually tabbing and highlighting, so when you know I'm tabbing and highlighting books, you know I want to keep it and love it. So yes, that is this series. It's huge, and I'm kind of wondering how big the 4th one's going to be. Anyways, so the last and not least, the last book that I have gotten at, on my birthday week, it was like a random book that I found in the fantasy section at Second and Charles, and I wasn't going to pick it up because I'm trying to avoid massive books all the time, because it seems to be every single book that's being published, fantasy book that's being published these days, it has to be over 500 pages. But I decided to pick up the Faerie Games by Michelle Meadow. Now, from what I understand, this is her complete series in one book. So she has like 5 books in this one thing. So, and they're divided up, obviously, and each of her books. So each of her books is like 200 to 300 pages. So I was like, okay, I'll get it. And what's funny about this one is her last book. It's called The Fairy Plague. From what I read in the description, it has to do with zombies. It's the Faerie Games. Where do zombies come into all this? It had me intrigued. So I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. I mean, granted, I have to invest 4 of the 5 books before I can actually read the book that piqued my interest, but I'm willing to go for it. I mean, it's only it's only 200 something pages, and I think I'll try it. Anyways, so yes, it's my haul. It's small. I wouldn't say it's like a grand book haul. I was hoping to show my fairy loot boxes, but this is my stint, is that it takes Fairy Loot forever to mail the books. And from what I understand, I have the young adult and the adult fantasy book, and apparently they put in a different book in those packages. So I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to get the mistake, or am I actually going to get the books I was intended. So yeah, I was supposed to get May books, and I'm getting it at the very end of June. Probably at the end of June at this point. And the Romantasy box is a little frustrating. I have to be patient, and I'm thankful for being on the list. But yeah, I have no idea. I'm always in the dark. They said wait for 3 to 7 business days for the shipping label to update, and it's been 10 days, 10 business days. So yeah. So yeah, that's it. That's all for my book haul. It's not huge, but I am intentionally just picking out books that I really love and enjoy. And I'm thankful for ZS Diamante for sending me a book, and just enjoying every single book I come across. So yeah, thank you for joining me, readers. I'll catch you later. Bye.